So they'll be calling you a radical. So I gotta, if you're watching in Budapest, I missed your call, but I got your message. So this great ecological catastrophe, dead tide pools at your feet, salmon clap, it's prime day. They had 5,000 today. So they got 13,000 for the year. They should be getting that a day on the Columbia. Talked to Tim on the road. We're talking a couple hundred. Jedediah Smith. I mean, bottom line, it's down 98% post-Fukushima. I talked to some kids from Santa Barbara today. One from Long Beach, one Santa Barbara, surfers. And they brought it up to me. They says, oh, you're the PhD, you're the tide pool guy. They saw me at Weber State. We know you from tide pools, so have you proven it? They said. We've watched your tide pool videos. I mean, pretty scary stuff. I said, well, I hypothesized my whole, this is the most historic PhD in history. My hypothesis was they were, and I explained it to them. I said, my hypothesis was they were lying about these meltdowns. And these were full blown out nuclear meltdowns that have never happened before. It was creating an energy, a new energy, that they were just going to push into the Pacific Ocean. And it was going to break the eco chain. It was going to be so hot, and the phytoplankton was going to collapse. The sardines and anchovies were going to collapse. The seals were going to freaking starve to death. The animals were going to get cancer in them. The smoking one would be the salmon in 2016. They had record returns. They go to sea for 5 years. He says, well, your tide pool stuff is sure accurate. And I said, so is the salmon accurate. It's all accurate. The heat bubble going to rise up the western United States. By the way, the United States has re-upped the ante on the plutonium. And I want to say this. FUKTONIUM, which I named this plasma, is much stronger than plutonium. But you're going to go all in. The military industrialized war pigs are fucking still at it. It's unbelievable, looting the fucking debtor's hell. So, I always go back to Meltdown. My mind always goes back there, ever since I was very young. Fractal physics. Remember when we used to walk around and our shirts had under the microscope, we had the flare atom? My mind races back to Meltdown. So, Meltdown, Einstein tried to prove his fabric, his grid. Meltdown says it's more dynamic than a fucking grid. He's simply bent a round antenna on your TV, so your little round antenna that still works. He simply bent it, put notches in it. He's like, whoa, that's how your cell phone works. And he says it's not a grid. It's more of a fabric. Well, I've taken it further. I don't even think it's a fabric. It's a gas. It's a plasma. It's always been a plasma. The radiation from the sun. Do we know what's on the sun? We know it can give you cancer from 93 million miles away. What is it? It's a gas. It's a vapor. Pine trees suck it up. Everything you do, it's the staff of life. Too much, it kills you. Not enough, it kills you. I said it's going to get into the pine trees. Their needles hold the fucking gas from the sun. You ever lit one on fire? They got too much from Fukushima. Bringing star power to Earth. That's what Livermore says. That's those fucking madman monsters. I want my fucking Nobel Prize money. They got the 4 bottom of the pyramid. That's mine. All 4 of those are mine. Fuktonium. It's not a grid. I think Fukushima, my Fuktonium thesis, has proved it's not even a fabric, Meltdown. It's a gas. It's a plasma. This gas is the same gas coming off Fukushima, Japan, that comes off the sun. Except the sun's 93 million miles away. This one's straight right there, 6,500 miles away. Jet stream moves left to right. Ocean currents move left to right. I was talking to him about the E. coli problem at Tourmaline, because we like to go down to Windsea. And I'm like, I wouldn't get in there. Why? It's clean. No, it's not. You know, I just explained to him about the sewer nightmare. And they'll kill you. Well, it looks so clear and clean. What do you think that fucking building is? They didn't even realize what that fucking thing was, that nuclear reactor. I says, but that's shut down. It's been shut down. So this is important. I'm going to click this and post this. We got only about an hour left. 1962. One button will be pushed by man. One gigantic fucking leap forward to try to heal the Hudson River, the New York ecology, Mother Earth kind. Indian Point is over in just about an hour. I celebrated last night a little early, but that's such a major accomplishment. I don't think people have a clue what a major accomplishment. I mean, what a big. San Onofre, if somebody would have told you just a few years ago, San Onofre, Oyster Creek, Indian Point, Diablo Canyon is going to be closed soon. But just the fact that San Onofre and Indian Point shut down, and Oyster Creek, not to mention Pilgrim, these are fucking ecological hell. Nightmares from hell that killed millions and millions of people. They don't even know what killed them. Biggest loot job in New York history. That's saying a lot. Status King Cuomo. 7.6 billion on chemo. So, Fuktonium, I'll tag this. FU is greater than PU. Hypothesize. And he says, well, you know, I've watched your early videos. I remember watching them clear back then. I was a young kid. I was, you know, he says, I was 12, 13 years old. I used to watch those. He says, I remember what you said was going to happen. He says, well, do you think you've proven it? I says, what do you think? You live on the ocean. Well, you were right about those tide pools. They're dead. I don't know about the rest, he says. I says, what about all the fires? Yeah, you called that. I says, what about the Great Salt Lake? It was at normal levels right here. The spiral jetty's right there. That's Promontory Point right there. That's Promontory Point right there. That's where the trains met right there. Great Salt Lake's gone. I says, my spiral jetty, it is proved that it is acute radical collapse. The salmon. Record return, not dams. Jedediah Smith has not dams, dying at sea. Anchovies and sardines. My hypothesis, they're going to lie. These are full-blown fucking out nuclear meltdowns, something that's never happened before. It took Leslie Stahl to Lake Barrett to Leslie Stahl in 60 minutes, 3,000 days to tell you what Kevin Blanch. And I talked to him, I says, you know, the good thing about this PhD, this is probably the greatest PhD in human history, is don't be afraid to be wrong when you hypothesize. So what if you're fucking wrong? You do the fucking field work. Then if you're right, even if you're wrong, there's new knowledge that comes from it. I was right. Sadly. Horribly. Cancer rates are up 38% in North America. Just like I fucking said. This is the greatest catastrophe in human history. It's a gas. It's a plasma called Fuktonium. That's not a cliche. That, you know, it made the Urban Dictionary. It made the Urban Dictionary. But they're wrong. He says to me, he says, why is there not a Wikipedia page on you? I says, there's been a couple people try to fucking write a bullshit one because they can't figure me out. Not right, not left. So I go back to Metal Braun all the time. Every time I hear Ozzy sing Crazy Train, I think of Metal Braun. You know, he wrote that about the nuclear industry, about the nuclear waste. They all sold us out. But the bottom line is the tide pools wiped out acutely, the salmon. He says, well, I said, what do you think? You think I've proved it? Yeah. I think it's true. I says, you're a surfer on there? Yep. You know, we go up and down. We're all over. Do you think what I've said's true? Yeah. The Great Pacific Genocide. He says, yeah, I remember when you named it that. It's knowledge now. The Great Pacific Genocide is just a fact. Right here, the Great Salt Lake, the marsh, The Great Salt Lake's lost half its levels. It's at historic lows. It's the lowest it's been, not in 1963 low, ever in millions of years. Stuff's rising up off there. We have no clue what the fuck it even is. Growth for the sake of growth. Right now, I mean, it's May Day here. Down the stretch they come. They even ruined that. You can't even go fucking. There should be, right now, at this moment, there should be literally, just before Fukushima, literally thousands and thousands of birds in the air. There ain't a fucking bird. There ain't shit. No butterflies. I mean, I've seen a few little moths, butterflies, but I haven't seen one monarch yet this fucking year. Not a yellow monarch, not a red monarch, not an orange. And we get fucking, I mean, we used to get them here that mean black in the sky. No fucking birds. There was 2 mallards I saw flying around and 2 Canadians, but come on. They'd be streaming in right now to rest. There's a marsh right there. This mega corporate welfare fucking there. There's still a marsh right there. Somewhat left of it. You know, the whole thing used to flood out into that basin. That's wetlands. Of course, my brother up there, fucking, that ripoff ripped me off while I was dying of cancer. That's an old wetland, but they'll build on it. They don't give a fuck. So if you're in Budapest, hope to be in Vienna. And I think the first person that's going to officially declare Kevin Blanch's historic work, my guess it'll be in that neck of the world. Atom theory. We had a talk with my grandson today. I says, well, I'm kind of like Semmelweis, huh? You know, he knows who Semmelweis is. You know, germ theory. You know, atom theory was Vienna also. But, fuck, they wouldn't believe a word he said. He proved it. He's little blasphemy, little invisible fucking, like Chernobyl. And I want to say this about Chernobyl HBO. The battle for Chernobyl that was done long before HBO is even better than the HBO. And HBO plagiarized the shit out of it. And I like the HBO piece. But her comment in the battle for Chernobyl is the best of them all. The real interview with the real her. What came out of those reactors, the worst thing that came out was not iodine, was not cesium, was not even plutonium. It was lies. What came out of the Fukushima nuclear fallouts, the worst thing that came out of there? Oh, it's FUKTONIUM. Talk about fucking lies. She called it the lies. Laguskov in HBO's documentary, when he really said that they're like little bullets flying through the fucking air. It's a plasma. It's a gas. Meltdowns. Fractal physics. Einstein running off the intuitive mind. I had a dream when I was an 11-year-old boy. What a fucking dream. He was an anti-nuclear. Sakharov, Yazar Bomba. Incredible anti-nuclear. You know, look at these fucking monsters now because it's all fucking nuclear pork. It's a gas. This heat bubble over the western United States is epic. The cancer rates are fucking high. So the Kevin Blanch hypothesis really, mayday, mayday, mayday. Maybe we can have a military fucking parade. Remember when Trump had one? Fuck, but here we go. Biden, he's a fucking same fucking old thing. New boss, same as the fucking old boss. Military industrial war pigs. Don't drink the water. It's a gas. It's a vapor. It's a silent fucking killer that you're breathing every day. It's mowing off your life. Again, cancer rates up 38% in North America in the last decade. Tide pools completely wiped out. Salmon have collapsed 98%. Wells are down 75, 80%. That's radical, extreme shit. My knowledge. First shoe hypothesized. They're lying. These are fucking full-blown out fucking meltdowns. They're meltdowns. They're going to lie. It's going to push this energy into the fucking Pacific. It's going to be the hottest thing fucking the Earth's ever seen. It's going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States. The Great Salt Lake's going to go fucking dry. It's going to wipe out the tide pools. It's going to kill the fucking salmon. On Q 2016, you'll see it. It's going to have cancer rates are going to go psycho. Then you do the field work. The field work that I've done, fuck. Just the tide pool work alone. Going through them tide pools like that, you want to talk a fucking fucking historic low tides. By the way, I did it all while I was fucking sick with ML de Novo OS leukemia with a marker of 44. Unsurvivable disease. Think about that. Just my part in the fucking LDSC state bone marrow. I mean, what a fucking this is the greatest PhD in human history. My doctor the other day says, Rachel Carson, you know, I remember when people used to compare you to her. She says, you've passed her by about 10,000 times. And I said, well, she was the greatest. Metal bronze, fractal physics, Einstein, Semmelweis, little invisible germs, Blanch, Fukushima. It's an invisible gas. I remember when I'm the first guy that started reporting, you could see the plume, physically see it. I was on the fucking boots on the ground when the fucking mirrors started to wash up dead. I mean, boots on the ground when I was fucking there. I remember walking over them at Pismo in 2050. The sea lions at Sills when they're washing up, starving out, I'm walking. The well up it, and when this all happened. It's a gas. It's a plasma. I think it's probably, well, it's probably the greatest PhD in human history. Well, look what they did to Semmelweis. Fuck. His was the Intel mine. They threw him in a rubber room, beat him to fucking death. The savior of mothers. Indian Point, just in a few minutes. Click. One button pushed for man. One giant fucking leap to try to heal for Mother Earth. It's a gas. What a lonely fucking battle. What a lonely fucking hardcore battle it's been. Thinking about today, I've been fucking so relieved. I'm like, it's kind of over, Kevin. Your PhD. I mean, my field work's going to continue and go on. My activism. It's been a tough year for activism, as you know, because of COVID. I can't get up in people's face. Well, I'm going to brand these fuckers in history. You know, I'm going to keep on my tide pool work. I'm going to keep on. I hope to get to fucking Vienna and Budapest here soon. I hope to get back to, you know, do my work at the UN. That's important historic work I do at the UN. Hope to be there. But when I can get back in, they won't let us in. But soon. I got my vax card. I didn't want to get vaxxed. But I had to get my card because I have to go to Vienna and get in their face. The Blanch box, just the part that I negotiated and got the Blanch box. Fuck. There's another Nobel Prize. Who can do that? It's official. Go ask them in Austria. Who can do that? I got my DNA swap, oral history match. My nurse says, God, that's the whitest DNA I've ever seen. Yeah, look who I'm related to. Alexander Hamilton, Abraham Lincoln. I always loved Hamilton. She's like, yeah, your dream came true. Yeah, he's my favorite. Paid himself nothing. I love everything about him. They teed him up. They wanted to fucking duel me. Semmelweis. What they did to him. I was in the University of Vienna. Those pictures I took I was in Trotsky's old classroom. It's a gas. It's a gas. They're 3 sons. And they burrowed into the Pacific Ocean. Oh, before I forget, I hope this keeps going. I told you that's 6 months right now, today, that the Russian peninsula, when everything washed up, fucking dead off Fukushima, the Russian trench, remember that? And the Tas Pravad and the Minister of Environment started to cry and said this is the greatest catastrophe, everything washed up, fucking dead, those videos, and Greenpeace went in there, and they says that, you know, we'll get right back to you. I told you it was, as soon as they found out that there was some kind of nuclear, well, they understand you'll never hear another word. Because they own the world. The Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate, the greatest crime syndicate in human history, a.k.a. the entire, they can kill the planet and kill you, they own us all. But Fukushima's proved that. Go give them some more billions. Sick. So the Russian trench, when everything, that's right next to Fukushima. And everything just washed up dead this year. And the surfers said they felt burns in their eyes. Went doctors had burn on their skins. It was radiation sickness. That's unarguable. Everything washed up dead. Everything. Why now? Because it got into the Russian trench. What's the Russian trench? The Japanese trench, excuse me. The Fukushima right there. Fukushima and the Russian peninsula where this happened are right next to each other. You know? It got into the trench. These are the cores. The cores have burrowed in, which I named Del Mar Argentina syndrome. There's another fucking Nobel Prize. Del Mar syndrome. Proving that. So I says, what do you think? And he was a pretty cynical kid. He says, well, you know, at first I was hoping you were wrong, and I thought it was bullshit, but what do you think? No, you earned it. It's true. It is true. First you hypothesize the knowledge, then you do the field work. Then you defend your fucking work. Boy, I've done all that. Then it becomes new knowledge, recorded in, that's a traditional, real PhD. Well, there's been very few of those done in the history of mankind. It's a gas. The Great Pacific Genocide. FUKTONIUM. Stop this at 22. Why 22? I love that number. 2 11s, 3 11s. Think about the fact I went to the bone marrow transplant center on 11/11/11. No birds in the evening out here. I've been here my whole life. It's stunning. One of the great ecologies on the face of the earth right here where I'm sitting. Never in my life. No. I mean, listen to it. Few crickets. Very few. Heard a couple frogs. I mean, just usually it's a symphony out here in the evenings. No fucking birds. It's been a heartbreaking PhD. It's been a heartbreaking 10 years. Literally. Ripped me open, poured me out. My chest split open. It's been heartbreaking. Thank you everybody who supported this historic work. Love all you all. Thank you so much. The Great Pacific Genocide.